Morning, morning. Hope everyone's doing okay. Sorry, I was getting coffee. All right. So let's dive into things here. What is she saying? All right, 11. Okay. All right. So obviously, news of the evening was Russia cutting off gas to Poland and Bulgaria. Um, just like trading, if this then that. If you don't pay, we shut off. They shut off. So Um, it's interesting update. And we're like, yeah, we're just gonna turn the spigot off. Have fun. I love this one that they're being accused of blackmail. Um, maybe I don't understand what the word blackmail is. I don't know. Maybe my entire dictionary, I didn't understand what transitory was. It's not blackmail when they tell you what's going to happen, right? It wasn't secret. They were public. I thought blackmail was like, I have a dirty secret I'm going to share unless you pay me, right? They were just like, hey, you have bills that are due. You don't pay them, we shut off, right? Not exactly sure how that's blackmail, right? And again, I think it's more. I don't know. I'm going to say I don't know if extortion's the right word, right? But I feel like it's more extortion. Like, hey, you're not allowed to use the European or U.S. bank system, but we're going to pay you in the U.S. or European bank system that you can't have access to. I believe that is more. I think extortion is a better word. Um, yeah, if you want something, if you want the fix, you got to pay in the currency that they want. So I don't know that blackmail is the right word. But nice try, nice try. You know, markets have already kind of factored in, I think. Yeah, and we'll see. And what's Italy doing here? I think aid plan amid Russian gas shut off. Yeah, so I guess Italy's gonna, the Vatican itself is already paid in rubles. Hungary, Germany is like scrambling now, like, oh crap, they are, we said we weren't going to pay, they're going to actually cut us off. And again, it's supposed to be it drives Germany into a recession. Is it here? No. It was one of the other ones, but basically, they shut off Germany. It sends Germany into recession with a 5% reduction in GDP. Going to cause major problems too. Again, you send 50 tanks and you expect no retaliation. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's kind of like the golden rule, right? You did something, they do something. So kind of goes back and forth. Hungary has said, hey, you know what? We're gonna pay. We're gonna transfer euros to rubles. We can't go without the gas. So yeah. And I love the comments. Let's see how this will work out for Poland. It could be a case study for Germany. So yeah. Now Poland was a little bit more prepared. Poland is, historically, yeah, they've been, people use Poland as like a stomping ground. I hate to say it, but they did. Like Germany went one way, Russia went the other, and they kind of met in the middle, and then drew a new line. So Poland kind of gets wrapped into things. So Poland was a little bit prepared. They already planned before that they were gonna remove themselves from reliance of Russian gas. And again, a lot of Europe, before the Ukrainian situation, I mean, they were cutting coal, right? They were already doing a lot of these things. So it's not like it's anything that's new. Um, you know, it, it is what it is. But they told them what was going to happen if they didn't do X, Y, and Z, and they did it. So, like I said, I feel like something is lost in translation. But is what it is. I hope the people aren't the one that suffer due to politics. That just kind of sucks. But because of it, we have massive amounts of movement. The pound yen is actually striking back. Right. That was much, much worse, but now it looks like you can see it rallying again as yen pressure comes in. We're seeing, euro dollar down 129, 121, right? 116 Swiss. And again, this was much worse. It's getting a little bit better. So we'll check to see what's going on in that chart. But overall, more or less dollar strength. Again, it's kind of that flight to safety thing. Right here. Oh, that's the other piece. So yeah. Let's see what we got here. The Japanese yen once upon a time. Turning the safe haven in the US dollar, yada yada in the 80s. Here you go. Instead, the Japanese economy entered into 3 decades of stagnation, which has lasted until this day, right? Um, if yen easily jump to 140, probably. Yeah, I agree. Japan will not stand by when China attacks. So, what a statement. I love statements like this when they make these things. They've had this liberal, the Liberal Democratic Party is the one in charge, and they've now, again, they are credited with, the Abenomics, like we talked about, three decades of stagflation, right? But I love things like this. We're not going to stand by if China attacks Taiwan. It's like, what are you going to do? First off, Taiwan is not a sovereign nation. It's not internationally recognized. You know, what are you going to do? You have a defense force. You don't have an offensive force. If you do, you're in breach of your agreements after World War II. So what would China, what could Japan possibly do to China? Um, yeah, that's a war we don't even want. So, yeah, I love comments, and again, I think it's inevitable at this point. China will go and take Taiwan eventually. Now, they said I mean, again, they said that they were. There's a reason why they're not internationally recognized. It's different. The Ukraine was sovereign; they were recognized by everybody. So, totally different scenario. I think it's just a matter of time, and nobody's going to stand up to the sheer size that China is. So, yeah, it's again, I feel for the people there. I feel like they should be their own nation, but unfortunately, I think the rest of the world has kind of let them down at this point. So we'll see. Today, obviously, oil inventory at 10:30 is kind of the big number. We have Macklin speaking again at 6:30 tonight. What is Macklin speaking on? More testimony, so we'll probably get some more headlines. It could be a decent short again. Again, with all the dollar strength today, this could be a way for the CAD to kind of roll back over. Looks like it's starting to do it a little bit early today. Lagarde speaking. She's due to speak at a Manager Magazine's Top 100 Women in Business event. Probably not the biggest economic mover, although maybe she'll talk about how, Russia has cut off supply, that they're the aggressor. It's like, no, you don't pay your bills. They have every right in the world to do it. Yeah, I don't feel like that's going to be a major mover, unfortunately. I'd love to say that, hey, listen, you know what? That could be a great opportunity right there. But the reality is probably not so much. Um, Hoping there'd be more of that one. So yeah, so it looks like crude oil, and then obviously maybe we get some BOJ stuff, but I don't think the BOJ stuff is going to be too crazy. We'll see what rolls through on that one. But again, Hungary paying in rubles. So that's Hungary, the Vatican, Italy, China. So starting to build a list up, and we'll see if anybody else does. I'm sure somebody else will as well. I'm sure there will be others that are not in a situation that they really have much of a choice. So, but yeah, lots of movement. Again, will there be reversals? Yeah, probably. Again, I think the dollar right now is jacked over over 103. So again, 103 is a big number, right? 103 is a big number. At this point, I'm almost wondering if this thing just keeps skyrocketing higher when we finally do have the FOMC raise. If it comes in at 0.5, if the market is just going to be so disappointed that it like skyrockets this thing to the downside. Because at this point, I think the expectation is just so high, and again, it just keeps going higher and higher and higher. It's like, oh my God, the United States, they're going, they're finally know what they're doing, right? I wonder if if it comes back and it's just like a $2 drop instantaneously. Wouldn't necessarily be surprising. All right, so the VIX. So obviously my VIX is delayed by a little bit. It is what? 15 minutes. So I'm assuming that there's a bit more of a pop up, as I expected there would be. There wasn't really the opportunity for U.S. traders and the U.S. market to kind of react to everything we saw. Um, Again, I do think the VIX jumping, though, is a bit premature. I do think everything stays probably in the green today. As you can see, look, Tesla's already up 4% retracing. Apple's already up. It looks like Twitter's down a little bit, but again, Twitter has buyers here. So if it's able to kind of, maintain its rally, and kind of break through there, again, I think that, again, everything stays probably solidly in the green today. Commodities, looks like they're finally getting in order. Gold looks like it's accelerating down. Silver as well. Oil as well. Down 1.7%, down to below the $100 mark. We'll see if it fluctuates from there. Like I said, $100 is a big mark, and again, this is an old level. We used it, and now it's just retracing back down. And I think targets overall would be 99. So Aussie dollar. So I wouldn't say that Aussie dollar. It's down 52, but retracing in the last hour. I wouldn't say that. Again, we were looking for levels. Remove this now. The news is over. Right now, we're kind of looking for really 107, what is it, 70, 97, and 72.10. We have been fluctuating back and forth. Really, until we get there, I'm not necessarily as interested. You can see, even when we had the piece here, it teased at 23.6, even down lower. The 23.6 is still, it's not in a level. So Um, really not even enough there, right? Eh, I wouldn't be surprised if this one does continue to go higher. As I said, we've had so much dollar strength in the last 6 hours. Um, I feel like I feel like we're probably due for a bit of a reversal. Trying to think if oil probably not so much. No, probably not. There we go. See, well, there'll be a near-term short coming in. I'm trying to see if it matched up top. Mm, eh, I mean, I guess people could try to do that. I think it would be a little bit risky. Um, hmm. It'd be nice if that 23 really bisected that area. If I had it, if this was like a bisection right there, I think it would be pretty decent. Don't really necessarily like that. I think right now, as I said, I think right now I'm still looking for the 7211 or the 7097 in this one. But maybe if we get a pullback into that level, maybe. Like I said, the 23.6 is not really in an area that I'm looking for. And again, yesterday we talked about it coming all the way down. So we got a little bit more room to run. So it got close. It got close. But I think, again, set targets either way. Um, this one we called to go higher if we had any type of a break. We were actually looking for a bit more. And again, we ended up getting the break. We can pull this off now. We can drive that down to that lower level. Um, we were looking for a return back up again. Right now, yeah, it's hard to get that into an area where it's going to make sense. It's up a bit. It definitely could have went much more than that. Let's see. It's close. I would say this is probably where I'd be looking for something somewhere around the 92 mark. Um, kind of coincides. How much is this? 20, 40, 45. I'm really hoping that that's not. I'm wondering if it'll be front run here. If we get a little bit of a spike and then it gets front run in. Anyway, I think 92 is probably a decent level. It looks like that's what the sellers that ran into. Maybe a little. Maybe you put a little bit of a buffer on that one. Also looking for somewhat of a collapse here eventually. Again, we've pushed in 2 times already into that target, and I think we can make a. Yeah, 1 to 3 puts us right back down to that 90.37. So eventually there'll be a Harry Potter trade in there. We're not quite there yet, but eventually it looks like 91-ish area, right? When we break through 91, it looks like we have the potential for this, again, a decent setup to run it down to 93.37. Euro pound. So really not surprised. And again, funny enough, we talked about this coming through, and again, it pushed out the bottom side. Came up and retested here. And we mentioned, hey, listen, this is a decent level. If it can pop through the top, we're looking good. And it didn't. It failed to go through, failed again. It's like, oh, this is going to drop. And it did. It dropped all the way back to the downside. And it's pushed quite a far distance. And again, did I know that Russia was going to cut it off? No. I mean, obviously not. But was it in an area where, if we got any type of bad news, it could have happened? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Right now, this is one that I really don't want to find a bottom to. I do think this has the ability to come a little bit farther. There was another Harry Potter that we talked about with a break of 83.73. Like I said, I think this is just the first one. I think Russia's going to cut off more, and I think the EU is going to have continued weakness. So, again, it was a decent grab. We ended up getting the base, the short through it yesterday. Do we get a reversal here at 10:30 potentially as some profit taking comes in? But I think Europe's situation is really only going to get worse, not get better. So I think, again, big racetrack that we talked about, this entire area here is kind of what we're looking to kind of go through, right? Um, and we're kind of getting up to it. So again, if you wanted to set an alert on this one, this is, I guess, an alert possibility now. Add an alert. HP confirm. All right. And again, decent rollback from yesterday. We still want to keep that 84.64 on there. The fact that it drove through it, found buyers right above, but it did grind through a lot there and didn't really have an explosive kind of push out of it. Again, that's one of those ones we're going to keep for the future. I don't know when it's going to get there, right? But whenever it does, that's an if this, then that. We had the initial roll, and then we're looking for a pullback up. I don't know when it's going to hit, but keep that on your radar for later. A break 84.65. But right now, I'm more to this one, more kind of allowing to the downside in 83.73. Euro yen. Okay. Euro yen. Again, we were looking for the 36.50 pullback. It didn't make it. It pulled back about not halfway to where we needed it to, and then continued to drive through. And it broke through that lower level. The fib adjusts just a little bit down. It's not really anywhere too crazy. Um, and again, when we're here, it didn't quite give you a 23. So just make sure you guys understand that it did not get a 23.6. Um, the lower level, now it's like, oh, look, the 23.6. Well, it wasn't back here. It is now. And there could be like, hey, there could be an argument saying, hey, listen, if we pull back up to that level, that would be another area that we're looking to go short. And this is one that I would agree with. If there's profit taking coming in after this big drop down again, is Europe's problems fixed? No, I think they're only going to get worse. So I think it comes up, and then 135.85 is kind of where we see this one turn and roll back down. Eventual profit target all the way down to 134.52. And again, we're just where is it? We'll do it here, right? There's kind of your top. There's kind of your bottom, right? And it's I can extend it farther back, but you can see it's following the channel pretty far down. But I think 134, 45, it could be a decent area. But again, long channeling, keep coming up, and it's funny that it tagged here, came back up, got closed, tagged it again, So it's rolling pretty well in an overall downtrend. Euro dollar. Again, euro dollar, I was saying, hey, listen, we got to be short. Funny enough, we talked about 105.88, and it hit it, and it popped. It came back down, it hit it again, and it popped, and then it broke through. I don't know. This is at least number 3, if not, it may even potentially before. But how about that? As far as clink boom, and then they were out, and now it's trying to do a pullback. So, I'd say kind of the same scenario. I mean, again, this is a violated zone. If we can pull back up to it, 1 to 3 is only right there, right? So, but how's that for hits, right? Literally hits the top, boom, comes down, hits again, boom, and then obviously number 3 was too much, right? Was just a little bit much. So, yeah, I mean, for some of you looking for something, again, there's a decent trade there. There's 1 to 3 right there. So, if it comes back up, we'll pull it across and drop it. And again, something like shutting gas off is a big deal. So, let's see. Right now, where we are. Interesting. Let's see. I'm gonna pull this off now. That would be interesting if this is the bottom, just because if you talk about the basing here, happens to be a nice little touch right there, right at the 50. And again, we had an old violated level sitting right above at 107.54. So kind of interesting spot there. I have to keep that, watch that for later on. But I do think this one comes back up, and again, I think getting short the euro dollar is a great scenario. Again, I think we talk about raising interest rates this week. Not raising them this week, but I think there's more mention of it having to be done because inflation is so high. And at the same time, I think, I think Russia will announce the next drop. Who's getting cut off next, right? It's coming. Don't be surprised. Somebody else is going to get cut off. Um, and I love Germany, right? You got the finance minister on one side, you got the military guy on the other, right? Military guy's like, you know what? We're going to send 50, Gepard tanks in there, right? That sounds like a great idea. And then Russia cuts it off, and the next day it's kind of like, hey, we need to have an emergency meeting. We need to find some gas because we're about to go into recession because we just sent tanks. It's like everything has an equal and opposite reaction, right? Got to pay the piper. Pay the piper. Yeah. So yeah, this could be another opportunity. Now the pound is pulling back again, but again, this is one of those ones. I feel like it's not over. Not that the UK is really affected as much. And again, we can get natural gas to the UK. That's a nation that we would actually kind of get things to. They are pulling back, and interesting enough from it, it is a level of basing. We've hit it once, we've hit it twice, and it is pulling back, but it is kind of sandwiched right around that 23.6. So I mean, as far as the continuation goes, I mean, honestly, I don't think it's a bad spot. Again, you're hearing rumblings about Japan mouthing off, but I mean, what do you think China's response is? That's kind of what China's response is like, well, we're just gonna go ahead, do it. We're not concerned. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's a no-win situation for Japan there. So, um, yeah, I think this one goes lower today. Again, every time we get news out of Japan, it's kind of like, yep, strength, 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 strength. Um, yeah, I feel like this could be a decent opportunity. Now, again, it's hit it 3 times. It's there. Um, I kind of wait for the next probably 15 minutes, wait for it to base, come through. What this one looks like is there, and then your 1 to 3 is only here, right? So not a bad one. What are we talking there? Yeah, it's only 97 pips. It's only 97 pips, just a little amount, right? Little bit of movement. And again, one way you could play this too is, you could switch over and look at, call spreads or even knockouts and see if there's anything remotely close. Just so you don't have to watch it, right? Just so you don't have to watch it and see if we get a nice grind back lower. Pound dollar. Again, this one did come up. This one did find buyers low and then buyers low again and then came up decently at 530. Again, nice reversal coming off the 23.6. Again, supply zone, spiked up into it. 1030 reversal, supply zone, and 23.6 all at the same time. It is now pushed deeper. Again, also, I'd stay short. There's no trade right now. It would not take this zone again. It's already been pushed to the brink. It paid twice. It'd be very risky to pay again. It is backstop a little bit, so I don't think that I'm ready to take a long out of it. Not yet, because there is buyers sitting right over here. I'm sorry, sellers sitting right in there. So again, if it does pop through, that it's got to run through that level. So a little bit riskier, right? Hmm. Good enough room to run to the downside, though. Whoops. It's about 50 to the downside. Yeah, I feel like overall today, I think if we start breaking these lows, we come down to this 125.25 area. I think our target for any shorts. And again, we don't quite have a base for a Harry Potter to establish this one, but I feel like 124.66 is where we were really looking to hit before. Again, about 100 points down. I think it needs to hit that before I'm willing to go long in this one. Like I said, I still think everything's going to be dollar, 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 dollar. I don't think we're there yet until the actual release, and then I think it's definitely in for a reversal. Or if they say, we think it's going to be 0.25. Um, no, it's not going to be 0.25. It'll probably be 0.5. But I still think the market's going to be pissed at 0.25. I'm sorry, 0.5. Um, yeah, I'm very hesitant to do that one again. Like I said, it's already paid twice. So getting a third time is starting to get a little bit greedy, and you guys know what happens with greed in the markets. Dollar CAD. So dollar CAD, interesting spot. We are grinding sideways, and again, we talked about this coming through. It hit base pull deck, did it again. It's pushing higher. It's trying its best right now, right? I mean, they're fighting, but again, CAD has also had positive data out there. With oil right now, oil's down a little bit, so again, providing some CAD weakness, but it's just really stabilizing. A bunch of news here. I'm curious to see if this one rolls with oil today, just a little bit. Um, again, it is. I do 100% agree with dollar strength right now, but at the same time, I also agree with CAD strength based off of where they are and what their raises I think are going to look like and what we're going to start hearing. So, am I willing to say that the top's in yet? No, I think it really needs to go a bit higher. Again, Macklin is speaking. You know, along with senior deputy, Rogers. Um, we are going to get this later, so how much do we have to move? I don't think we're going 70 pips from now till then. Could this potentially be the top, this basing level right here? Sure, it could be, right? If we can maintain and just kind of float around that area or maybe push back a little bit and then push up beforehand, I think really the 5 o'clock time frame is when you look at this one. See where price is moving from five. Really, I guess, I'm sorry, at six. She's speaking at what, 6:30? Yeah, 6:30. I think looking at this at six to see what it did from the close of the market, go from like 5 to 6 and see what direction it pushes will kind of give us an inkling of what we're going to hear, what they're going to talk about. Um, I was looking at this too for Harry Potter. The problem with this one is to set a Harry Potter on this one, it's going to be about 19 pips worth of risk. A little bit much for me for dollar CAD. And also with the fact that we only have about 35 down, it's only a 1 to 2 before we hit this level of basing. Um, this is a pretty easy level to draw, right? Strong in base, and again in the early morning hours, and then strong out. I'm kind of curious to see if this is what we're looking for from now till later on today. And again, it would do this, but it would be kind of like a down, kind of like a sideways, and then kind of a push down, right? Is what it would look like based off of this Canadian news. Actually, it would be here, and then like that. This is kind of what I'm wondering is what we look like. Okay, um, something along those lines, right? And again, it's dollar pay, it's dollar profit taking, basing at this level, which is smoke. That's an old level, which again we got a short off of. Then it was a bottom push deep. We base in. It's not enough to set a trade here. So I don't know. I don't have Nadex up. I don't. It's not on a platform right now. But again, kind of like what we did here, something similar with a pulling back, and again playing into Macklin speaking again later today. Dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss grinding, and absolutely justified. I don't think this one is done yet. It's having a little bit of a pause right now. Again, Switzerland, they made their bet in this one. I think they got to sleep in it now. They would not have, originally been affected by this as much, but they will now because they also did, help with the sanctions. I don't know. Let me search this real quick. Let's see. Okay, so yes, Switzerland gets almost half of its gas from Russia. Okay. Um, yeah, so that's kind of a lot. Um, and Switzerland does not have a large capacity to store natural gas, nor does it have its own natural gas resources. This means that any major disruption, such as if Russia cuts off gas supplies to Europe, would require consumers to reduce their consumption. So yeah, so they're pretty much screwed. Especially for the winter. So the big question is Switzerland going to pay in rubles or not? Again, I think Switzerland has a lot of risk. Just reading what I just looked at it right now, the fact that half of it and they don't have enough, they don't have the ability to store large amounts like Poland does. This is one of those ones for fundamental purposes. I'd be very cautious with. Anytime there's a pullback, look for this one to go long further. Again, if you want to run this right now, again, just pull some fibs. If we do have a pullback, look at the level of basing right here. Base, and then boom, pop. It also is now coinciding with a 50% retracement level. So I think for dollar Swiss wise, if we can come back down to 96.32 and just the normal dollar fluctuations, I think it'd be another buy. Again, if I was a Swiss citizen, I would be kind of upset, or not upset, but like kind of nervous right now because they don't have the capacity to store large amounts. They don't have enough for winter, and you're either going to play Russia's game or you're not going to have gas. So yeah, and again, remember Switzerland, had they not helped with the sanctions, may have been okay. They may have cut them a break because of they're neutral and things like that, but they're no longer neutral. So I feel like Russia is absolutely not going to cut them a break at all. No breaks. Um, so yeah. But look for a pullback again. This is profit taking coming in. It should roll back down again. I don't think it's at a level. Are we interested in a level there? Let's see. It's a level just slightly above. So yeah. So again, a decent level to roll off of. So yeah. So if you're looking for a short, there you go. You could actually flip this around if you wanted to. You could take this one short, profit target at 96, 32, right? And then obviously play it back up again. Okay. Um, dollar yen. Dollar yen broke through finally. Woo! And again, I think it's justified to be doing it as well. Again, Harry Potter here. Delete this. I'll put it back on. Harry Potter from yesterday came all the way down, grabbed it, and went through. So we'll pull that one off. to get this clear. We can see that we got the 50 here. We had that basing here, and again, that was a roll point. Let's see if top to bottom what comes in. Interesting placement right there. I'm actually okay with this one. Right? I'm okay with this one. Again, this is that profit taking we're seeing. It's the same kind of scenario we saw in the pound yen. This was not bad. 1 to 3 is only right there. Again, bringing it right back down to 23.6. That's not bad. Let's pull Nadex. Let me see what we got in this one. Just see if by chance if there's something in there. Let's see. Let me see. Because again, it drove up. So let's see. What do we got there? We're looking about 129. 128.12. It's only 50. It's 22 for 53. Not the best. Not the best. We're a little bit late. We're a little bit late on that one. But there is actually an ADEX contract at 28.24, which again is a little higher. It's right here, 28.24. Right? So it's a 28.24 down to 27.49, which is right there. Right? Right there. So it kind of matches up, right? Kind of matches up. Let me see. Call spread wise, what's we got for call spreads? What 128.25? Yeah. Unfortunately, the weeklies are a bit off. That sucks. There's a 128.54, which is way too high, and then there's a 127.29, which is way too low. Dailies, let's see. Is there anything daily? No. There's a 128.45, which is way too high, and then a 127.20, which is way too low. So nothing there. Let's see. Dollar yen, dollar yen, dollar yen, dollar yen, dollar yen. 127.24. That's way too far. 127.36. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of premium jacked in that one. I wonder why the hell there's so much premium there. There is a. That's an interesting binary. That is a what? A 7 p.m.er. There's a 7 p.m.er at 127.44, which is kind of right here. 127.44, which should be there. Right? That's a little bit past as well. It's not horrible. I'd like to get a little bit more catalyst on that one, but I think the knockout's a little bit better on that one. I don't know. Maybe we can get enough push, but again, it can definitely move that back that far. So, just a couple different setups there. Let's go across and look at CL. See what it's doing yet. We're still a little bit early. Yeah, we're starting to base it at that 50%. I'm gonna get them on an hourly. Let's see what it looks like on 30. Yeah, it's starting to kind of put something in here. So again, this is okay. We're a bit early. It's only 10:08 now, so we'll come back to that. Natural gas. Not surprised. There's your 9 o'clock window. Here's the U.S. trader going to. Oh, Russia's going to stop. Russia's going to turn off gas. 35-point move. Here you go. Let's see. Sanctioning Russia raises questions on other currencies. Thus far, we've seen dramatic ramifications for Russia. U.S. dollar. With potential implications for the status of the U.S. dollar as the world's main reserve currency and strength of China's renminbi. The potency stemmed from coordinates. United fear de facto as Chinese banks are reluctant to deal with Russia. Yeah, I think they have no problem with that. At least they're talking about it, but it's nothing of important essence. Oh, will it test parity? Look at that. I'd like to say that we talked about that last week. Key levels support at 103. Yeah, if it comes to 103, we're touching parity. Oh, look at that. Man, I should be writing for them. Oh god, they're going deep. They're going deep. Corrections, they're going RSI below 40. Oh man, they're going deep. Yeah. So again, it's funny we talked about that. Anyway, natural gas, another one. Again, you can see there's some sellers here. Not really looking for major selling to come in until at least here. Um, do I want to take this short at 756? I think you want to be really, really careful taking that short. I don't think this is the first drop, in all honesty. I think there will be another. I think there's another country that's going to get shut off. Um, I kind of think it. At this point, I'm really wondering if it'll be Switzerland is going to be the one that gets cut off because obviously they're highly reliant. It's not a huge amount of gas that they'll be losing. Maybe Russia's like, you know what, we'll keep Germany. Germany's flowing because there's so many people involved, but Switzerland's a small country, right? If they stick it to Switzerland, it's they have a huge potential there for a little bit of loss. So I don't know. I just feel like this has the potential to go even higher because, like I said, we can't support them. We are capacity. We can break contracts, and then that'd be really interesting if we break contracts. But yeah, I wouldn't mess with that one. So gold accelerating. As I mentioned, anytime you guys can get a pullback in gold, I think it's good to short. Again, we had a level here. Originally, the level was over here. Again, we just pulled back up to it again, rolling into the U.S. session right at 8 o'clock. Continue to push lower. Again, I think this one comes all the way down. We have our targets down at 1843. Again, I mentioned this going into the week. Looking at this one on a weekly basis, this was one of those Nadex positions that I was like, hey, listen, I just really feel like, um, you know, gold, weekly basis. I think this is a great binary contract to get in there. Unfortunately, there is no gold call spread, and I don't think knockouts really, um, you know, gold knockouts really don't help you as well, just because of the amount of room that it's going to move. So, the week long binary contract on this one, it's like, man, you could have got something pretty cheap down here, and it's just continuing to drop down again. Again, starting the week off. Let's see. Right here. So thus far, this is what the move has looked like so far this week, right? So yeah, I mean, even really since from back here, I mean, that was the previous week. But yeah, again, guys, gold is one of these positions where I know Neuro loves this because he's going to buy more of it the cheaper it goes. But, you know, the U.S. is the U.S. and the whole world is all about how do we smash this? How do we crush inflation? How do we crush inflation? Not a good gold scenario. And again, anytime you get any type of a pullback to a level, I think it's pretty decent. Running it down to here. Right now, the nice thing is if this is a base and we start pulling back again, that same level right here is now also a 23.6 level, the 1907. So again, I think we keep it. Silver 23. It's doing this to make me mad. It went down to 23.23. Again, I think 23 is going to be. I think it's going. I would love this. I would love to see gold do an actual crash, but not going to happen. It's not going to do an actual crash. Put it this way, Neuro. Okay, you're not going to get the same scenario where people aren't going to take gold, right? It's not an oil thing where like they're going to, we got to deliver commodities. There's tankers full of liquid gold. Nobody wants to take it, right? Put it this way: if it comes to the point where gold starts crashing, where they can't get people to take the contracts, I will take all the gold contracts. They can dump it in my front yard. That will be okay. I'm good with that, right? I have shares in an ETF that goes short on gold. It would pay off nicely if gold prices were to dive. It's going to, but it's going to grind. Remember, I mean, gold has it's not something that's ever going to go to zero, right? It's has an industrial use. Um, I mean, as far as like safety of an investment goes, I mean, you're not making money off of it, but it's a pretty safe investment to hold value. Because again, I mean, India is huge with gold. It's very, very, India is very, very big with wedding gifts and presents. China, huge. They give gold all the time. When I got married, I got a little tiny gold bar for getting married, right? It's customary for them. But wedding season, I mean, gold in India is huge. It's a customary gift to give. And again, same thing with China as well. So again, it's one of those things that will never go to zero. It's not gonna be like, I spent, $200 per Bitcoin and now it's 60. It's not gonna be one of those things though. Um, yeah, but I know, but like I said, yeah, if it does go to if it does ever get to the point, right, where gold is zero, I will gladly take every contract. It literally can back a truck up in my front yard. I'm totally fine with that. I will save the country and take all the extra gold. It's okay. Um, but I think 23 is in for silver as well. I'll even take the silver. I mean, if silver goes to zero and they need to get rid of it, I'll take the silver. I mean, we have to take one for the country at some point, right? I mean, that's what we're here for, right? We're supposed to, help our fellow man, right? Right? I don't think that's ever going to happen, but like I said, I'll take one for the team. Back the truck up, put it in my front yard. So I think that comes down. Let's see what crude's doing. Let's drop down to some low time frames. We're starting to get in that window where the last couple of weeks we've kind of seen it. Ooh, it's getting funky. Look at that. Look at that. It's playing around. Look, look. It came down. Look, it touched. It based in there, popped out the top. Oh, look at this. It's kind of doing like a Harry Potter, looking for a short here almost. Um, Although I will say, I'm going to leave that here. Let's drop this down to 1 minute. I will say, look at this level up here. We definitely have a level here. If we can spike just a little bit, that's a level that, although it's hit 3 times, again, on 1 minute, it's going to do that. It's got a little bit of support there. It's got a little bit of oomph, right? Again, we know that this entire red area, this entire orange area is kind of where this old zone was, and is this kind of is it trying to put in like a little Harry Potter kind of pullback and short here? Um, Remember, the API inventory report is saying 4.7, right? Shit. Russia talks of nuclear what? Escalation. I wonder if there's an old video. It's on Bloomberg. I don't know. Sean, you have Bloomberg up, right? Is this a live late breaking thing? Uh, it may be. I wonder if he's talking right now. I didn't really want to click on that, but maybe I'll click on it real quick just to see. I don't know when this was on. So can I go? Yes, it's irresponsible to use. Yeah, I don't think it's. I think that's recorded. Let me go back to FTMO. I was just like, man, are they talking now about that one? Has anyone heard about paper certificates for gold and silver coming out due today, and the government might the government. All right, Carol. There's no such thing as the government might not be able to pay for them. Okay, the government will never, even if we don't have it, they will come up with fake money from somewhere. But they will absolutely. There's no such thing as the government not being able to pay for it. Okay, particularly in the United States. Never happened in a million years. Because if it did, if they were unable to make payments on things like that, that would drop their credit rating, which would automatically remove us as the world's reserve currency, which would also royally kind of screw us over so bad. So yeah, anytime you hear anything like that, oh my God, the government's not going to be able to pay. Trust me, the government has no problem paying. And again, there's more. There's so much more at stake if they didn't. But yeah, they'll be able to, they're definitely going to pay. Maybe not in rubles. They're not going to pay in rubles. Um, oh, man, look at this. It's moving. It's not holding though. We're kind of looking for a hold here, but we do have an area down here where we had some support off of it. So maybe that's the hold area, and then we look for a pop off of that. So again, we'll come back in 2 minutes and see if we're getting any type of stabilization. Yeah, I wondered. Yeah, because remember, if they don't make a payment, if they can't buy something, if they that would default them, which would hurt the credit rating. And then again, how can the world's reserve currency be defaulting on payments, right? Yeah, it couldn't. So, and again, that article, whoever wrote over here, this big freeze sanctioning Russia raises questions on other currencies. Absolutely. Again, and this is coming from PIMCO, but absolutely 100%. You know, um, I am. I think Putin's out of his mind. I think we handled the situation the wrong way from the very, very beginning. And again, whether it be fear or thinking he's going to go to nuclear weapons, whatever it is, right? I think there was a good way to do this and a wrong way. I think we handled this in every possible way. We did it wrong. But again, I don't justify what Russia did. I understand why they did it, but I also saw kind of the maneuvering beforehand, and again, not really surprised why they did it. Using the dollar the way that we have, I think, is the absolute worst thing we could have done for the world, for the U.S. currency. But something like that, where you hear like payments and things, don't worry about things like that. That's kind of like more rumors of people like, well, they're going to have a hard. They will always make their payments. Um, like I said, it's a very, I don't want to say hypocritic type government situation, right? Because I mean, we've done. It's funny that we chastise people for doing things, but yet we've done things that are almost identical, right? But you don't hear us talking about those. Um, but things like that, no problem. They're going to pay. So it's trying to maintain and hold. Right now, it's kind of between two levels. Very interesting. I love Wednesdays. Wednesdays get to be so much fun. It is starting to hold down here. So again, there's a tiny, tiny level there. If that's where we hold, we could be going long, boys and girls. Looks like we're trying. Let's go check the VIX out. VIX is it's down, which again we kind of expected a little bit down. Let's go to 15. Um, down from obviously from the high yesterday, but yeah. All right, let's see. Looks like everything has rolled. Ooh, look at that. It did bounce right off that 50. Look at that. At 9:30, it's stacked right in. So there again, there's one. We're 1 for 1 so far. Again, we talked about that level. We talked about it here. You could have got short. It drove right. Look at this. 9:15. It's like, oh no, no, no. We got to go straight up. Look at that. Look at that. Talk about market manipulation. Right there. Oh, did we touch it? Oh, so close. So close to 1 to 3. Again, there you go. Opening print trade. Man, look at that. Drove it right back up into that 50. Those two areas of sellers literally right before the open for an opening print. Look at that. The 930 went right up, ding, and rolled right back down again. Again, that black line actually happens to be the Globex high. So again, do we have a symbol for this one? Uh, there is no bull and bear. I feel like, I mean, I got like bugs and penguins, right? I guess obviously for Linux, but I need more emojis here. I need to call and be like, hey, it's a trading platform. How do we not have a bull and a bear, right? I mean, I guess we have a cow, right? But that is neither a bull nor a bear, right? Is there a trap in here? I feel like there could be a trap. I don't know. I feel like for a trading platform, it's kind of like, what are you doing, right? Bad icons. Bad icons. Like, why do I need an anchor? I mean, I guess I understand cup and handle anchor, but I feel like we should have more. Like, why do I need a basketball, right? A basketball or a YouTube icon, right? Give me a bull and a bear, like an actual one, not just a cow, right? I mean, I have like a magic wand. I mean, I guess I could, you know what? I could use magic wand for Harry Potter from now on because the lightning bolt is a little bit funky here, right? I could use maybe I'll use that from now on. Yeah, it could work. All right. So again, nice pullback into the 50. We talked about that earlier today. And again, it also coincided with a Globex, a bull trap. So ding on that one. NQ also pulled back, and again, we drew this here. This one went a little bit higher, 915. Actually, this one started, actually 930 pulled right into it as well. So again, let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Indices, call spread, tech. Let's see. The 9 to 11s in here. Was there a? Let's see. Was there a 13,186? Actually, I guess I'll just do it off of here. Now I'm curious. Let's see. Let me draw this. What do we got here? Nope. They were all too low. They were all too low. They all got blown up. Pretty handily. They got just destroyed. Let's see. What am I looking for? 13,186. Nope. All the call spreads got crushed. Or the knockouts got crushed. Yep. So that blew everything up. Wow. It blew everything up like 12-fold. So yeah, so decent move again. Nice smack up and down on that one. Again, could you have been in a long at the open on this one? Actually, you could have been. If there was the long, there's your 915 candle. Again, you could have actually gotten long that one. So yeah, I guess there was that actually. So this one would have been a long, not a short. The short actually came in, but from the opening print up. ES opening print, again, not really in an area, but again, this would have been the reversal up top. So kind of 2 for 2. You could have played this one on both sides. But again, 15-minute opening print. This one was good. YM, let's see what we got with YM. YM looks like, again, 9:30 would have been no entry. Looks like 10 o'clock or 9:45. Again, grab that level. Again, this one's a little bit deep, so you had to be really stretching for this one. But again, that's a hit all the way back down again, and we're basing back down at 33,170. Talked about how that would be the target today, so it looks like we are out of the target now. We've officially hit it. Again, could have got entry. Again, got to be a little more aggressive, but I'm sure. I wonder if Jack made money on that one. Wonder if Jack made money on that one. I'll have to message him about it and be like, hey, did you snag this one? Nice little. Again, didn't break the Globex high on that one, but with the pullback, I'm curious to see how he did that on that one. And Russell. So it looks like we're 2 for 3. 2 for 3. 930 would not have been an entry. Did not come back up again. And didn't come up to the 50. Oops. Oh. Russell would not have been an entry. So wah 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 on the Russell. And like I said, I think Russell comes lower. It's obviously bouncing off this level of basing right here. So I think Russell has a chance to go lower on that one. I'd love to say bullish on that one, but no, not so much. Looks like everybody's getting smacked around. Tesla is pulling back right now. Curious, is there a headline that we missed? Not yet. Not yet. I like that one though. I'm gonna have to shoot him a message. I'm very, very curious about that one. All right, let's go back down to oil. Let's see what oil's doing. Let's drop it down to oil in a minute. Ooh, it is stabilizing down there. It is trying to hold right there. Oh, was that on? And I messed it up. There we go. There's your 1 to 3. All right, let me see here. Let's look at this. We got 4 minutes. Let's check. See how jacked up some of these contracts are. Ouch! They have $38 in that one. There is a call spread. Let's see. 150. And it's like 40 cents outside. Indicative is 112, 112-ish, the same. All right, so there's a call spread. 99.75. No, that's probably even worse. Yeah, it's probably worse. So yeah, so there is a call spread sitting right above this one, right? Oh, now it's pushed. Now it's moving. I wonder if it's grabbing this bottom one. Call spread is not perfect. Let's see. Crude oil. Oh, there is a crude oil knockout, but it's 105, right? It's 105 and the price is 110 right now, right? So it's like $11 worth of risk. It's like, oh God, if it could just hold and maintain right there, right? $12 worth of risk on that one. I like how it's pulling back. I really do like how it's pulling back. But the question is, the problem with Nadex is you get that one spike, and I think the spike takes it out on this one. I really think the spike takes it out. God, if it's just a little bit more room to buffer on this one. Ugh, that's rough. I gotta take a picture of this and be like, oh, yeah. All right, let me switch over to call spreads real quick. Do we have some call spread wise? 9 to 11. Do we have anything close? No. There is a call spread. $9 worth of risk to the top side. Right? There is a $9 long in this one. Yeah, there's a $9 long on that one. Whoops. Yeah, so right now, like I said, I kind of like this more to the long. I like how it's pulled back. It keeps going back to this level. We'll see. It's supposed to be a red number, but I'm wondering if it'll be a disappointment. But right now, it looks like it's okay. Yeah, I kind of like it. So we'll see. We got 1 more minute to go. It wasn't a horrible. Again, like I said, that call spread's in a decent spot. The knockout, I'm literally, I got it up on my other screen. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. I'm watching the knockout. It's 10:05. I'm sorry, 10. It's 105 cents, right? You have a 5-cent buffer right now on it. It's pretty crazy. It's a 5-cent buffer. It's a $13 contract. I almost feel like just because of the whipsaw of what oil does, I feel like it's one of those ones that it's kind of like, oh, it's crazy. It's like, oh, it's so close. I'm dying to know. It's like this is one of those ones. It's so close. Like I like just a little bit more buffer on this one. I mean, you're like a genius if you're like, oh my god, I made it within 5 cents. But I just feel like the whipsaw is going to take it out. Um, there's one a little bit lower than that, but the risk starts to get a little bit crazy, right? I feel like it gets a little bit nuts, right? So, all right, let's see what the number is. Um, oh, there you go. There's your pop. Let's see. Let's see. Whoops. Oh, whoops. Let's see. Wait, what the heck? That's weird. Hmm. Hold on one sec, guys. Um, hmm. That's interesting. You had a nice big spike over here, and my Nadex contract did not move. Way to go, Nadex. All right, let's see. Let's pull this in. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? I was trying to make sure that like my chart didn't freeze or something. I was like, huh? Eh, a little bit of a build, right? A little bit of a build, not nearly as much. So the futures contract is out. There you go on your futures contract. And we're seeing a little bit of movement over here. So yeah, yeah, there you go. So 35 and 1, right? Came down, stabilized inside of a small level. So I'm still confused why. It's funny. So futures, it's obviously blowing higher, right? I'm literally sitting here. I'm like, why is this contract not moving? There you go. It's finally starting to move. Wow, nice. Go Nadex. Nice delay. Nice delay. And you know what? It's so funny. We talked about, let me see. Hold on. I got to see. I switched off that one. Did it survive? It did survive. It did survive. So it was $13 and you can now sell it for 56. So again, nice little man, it held. That's awesome. So yeah. So it held. Um yeah, yeah. Pretty funny. Why so confused on that one? Huh. All right. So with that, let's get into our drawing for today. Let's pull this in. Oops. There we go. All right. Ernest was the winner yesterday. Where are we at? It's weird. All right. Let's see who's got it. Ernest was the winner yesterday. It is for 50. So everybody else going for 50. Ernest is going for 100 today. What we got? All right. That's it. Let's close it. All right. Winner of today's drawing is what? Ernest in for 2, Nero's in for 2, and that is it. Who do we got in here? Will's in here. I don't see a Debbie. Looks like Debbie missed it. Carol got in today. All right. Winner of today's drawing is Will. Look at that. Will, how many did you have? How many tickets did you buy, Will? Just one. Telling you, man. Will is like, we're going to start calling you Hansel, right? He's so hot right now, right? I feel like, man, that's Will, right? Let's give Will his 50, right? This is like Zoolander versus Hansel. Be Ernest's new name. We're just going to call him Zoolander. But yeah, Hansel is so hot right now, right? Go Will. Oops, not that one. Where is it? Look at that. Look at that pop up. Look, and it's running into some issues up top. So yeah, go 35 and 1. Go 35 and 1. All right. So with that said, that's it for today. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, same time. We'll be on 8:45 tomorrow morning, and then right after that, we will be on at what time are we going to start? 9:30. I can't even tell you what day it is anymore. So, all right, we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.